self-employed and you feel that you're not quite cutting it, things are not where you like them to be. In today's vlog, I'm going to share with you three simple mistakes that I see time and time again when I speak to clients who are self-employed and they're struggling with the money stuff. My name is Caitriona Ellis, founder of the Financial Wellness Academy, and I'm self-employed and have had experience of many of the challenges, and the steps that I share here in terms of mistakes are ones that I have made myself, so I can speak firsthand to them. So the first mistake that I see on a regular basis is there's no plan. You are hoping and praying for the best, and you're hoping it's all going to work out. So you've no idea in terms of what your offerings are, how they're linked together, if there's an upsell, downsell, whether it's products or services. There isn't a clear plan. Maybe you fell into self-employment, which is an amazing thing to do. It's something that I experienced. But once you have that experience and you think you're going to stick with it, then plan really does serve you to pull together what your vision is. And when you have sight of what your end goal is, then it makes it much easier to actually put the steps together. And that also goes exactly the same principle for your money stuff. When you have a plan for your money, then it is much easier to make those decisions and take those early steps instead of having no idea what it is your end state will be and just careering blindly and not knowing where you're going to end up. So put a plan together, get clarity on what it is you're offering and how it all fits together. What are your numbers? So what is coming in, what's going out, what are your annual expenses? And just take a little bit of time. Maybe it is once a month where you sit down and look at those numbers and you look at the plan. I use a passion planner, which is a kind of a sort of a diary, which prompts me at the end of the month to have time to reflect and review. And in going into the new month, it allows me and creates a structure to actually create that plan. So having a support like that, there are lots of different options available, can provide the regular prompts to you to review that plan once it's in motion. But putting a plan in place is absolutely key. The second mistake I see and have done myself repeatedly is we ignore our instincts. As women, our superpower, I believe, is our instincts and just knowing in our intuition as to whether something is right or wrong for us. And often we don't necessarily have black and white material that can evidence that. It's just a feeling. You possibly meet somebody, a potential client, and you know they're not quite your person, but maybe because of the income, you decide to roll with it, and then they turn out to be a nightmare client. Trust your instinct. If you feel it's off, walk away. If you feel it's an absolute green light, go, roll with it. And that is an amazing piece to bring into your business. And it's something I see when I see women doing it, it just feels like their business flows a lot easier. And I've experienced this personally more recently as I get better trust into this. And it is about trust, trusting yourself, trusting that you have got the right feeling on it. And time will tell, and the more experience you come in this and paying attention to it, the more you'll find that it flows much easier when you trust and when you lean into your instinct, your intuition, and see how it goes. And one of the things really with that is having support of a coach. So if you're not quite trusting yourself, maybe having a coach who you feel is aligned with your values. This is something you can do on a very affordable way. I have the amazing support of Catherine Watkin. She's the members Business from the Heart group, and it's a very small amount. It's roughly 40 some pounds per month, and the amount of calls, support and community that is there for that amount is absolutely superb. So if that's something you're looking for, I highly recommend checking her out. I'll put a link in the description below. And the third mistake I see is we are so often influenced by others, particularly on social media. We get a glimpse into somebody's self-employment life and we feel like from our perspective, from the outside in, it looks like everything is going swimming. They are really nailing it. They've got a great flow of clients. They've got amazing testimonials. They have amazing products or services, and they really seem to be doing everything right and everything seems to be falling in their lap. And sometimes this is the reality, but a lot of times it's not. It's a snapshot of what is happening, but it is not the full picture. And in my previous video last week around the number one challenge of self-employed, this is something I talk to as well. And that misconception that it's always going okay for everybody. But when we actually have those conversations, it turns out it's not. And I shared when I opened up on an interview on a podcast about this, it actually turned out that the interview also had a similar experience. So we can be influenced by others, and their performance in their self-employed business can really make us feel like we're failing. We're really, we're not cut out for this. And the truth is, that may not necessarily be the whole truth. So I would say try and minimize the amount that you're influenced by others. It's very easy to look at see what the Joneses are doing and think that it's all rosy in their garden, but often it's not quite so. And this constant chat of six-figure income drives me bananas. Do we, for most of us, need six figures really to have an amazing life? I certainly don't. And I live in somewhere that generally has higher cost of living, and I don't need anywhere near that to have an amazing quality of life. So stay in your own lane, put your blinkers on as to what you're doing, what it is you want, and really start to pull together what your plan is. Trust your instincts and allow yourself to be guided by what it is you want, not what these six-figure coaches or other self-employed women are doing. What do you want? It's absolutely possible to have a self-employment experience doing something that you love in a way that you really enjoy and fulfills you. And if you're struggling with income variability, I recommend you checking out the video last week on the number one challenge for self-employed, and that will give you some food for thought as to how potentially you can conquer that. So make a plan, trust your instinct, and stay in your own lane. Hope that was helpful, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for luck.